So here's the ZIL short that's in Bybit, and this was at a 1x cross, and what I did is I've been upping the leverage as the price of ZIL has been falling. ZIL has been falling for a long time if I go to the hour chart. So this is what happened with ZIL. So we got in a short right here, and then ZIL did this 350% in 5 days. So what I was showing people how to do is how to move their liquidation price from 22 cents, which is right here. It sucks. This is where everybody got liquidated, right around this part. But I showed people how to move their liquidation price up to 34 cents. Because Shiba Inu was the fastest growing top 100 coin at 300% in a week. So I looked at the record and I said, is ZIL about to double the record? And that didn't make sense to me. So fortunately we did that. But on the way back down, once we realized the pump was over and it started to sell, as our percentage in Karbon started to decrease, as this number started to decrease right here, then I would go into Bybit and up the leverage. And so I got to a point where I was at 5x leverage. I had been managing this trade manually. Now I want Karbon to take it back over and money manage it. So what I'm going to do is, and if you haven't done this already, you could switch your account from cross over to isolated if your account is already in cross and the percentage has gone down significantly and you have room for that account to take more trades. Then you can go from cross over to isolated, and you can also up your leverage. So this was at 1x leverage at one point, and it was like at negative 80% or something. And as that negative 80% went down in here down to something like negative 40 or 30, then you can go back into here and slowly up the leverage. Now you just have to do the math on it. If you're at 2x leverage and you are negative 30%, that just means that if you doubled this, you would have to double that percentage as well. So if you were at 2x leverage and you were negative 40, if you went to 4x leverage, then you'd be at negative 80%. So you just have to do the math accordingly. If this doubles, then you're going to double the percentage that you are down in that trade. So at this point, ZIL has come back significantly. It was at 23 cents, and now ZIL has fallen all the way back down to 11, 12 cents area. Now we got in right here. Once I realized that the pump was over, not only did I move the liquidation price, I was opening more short orders as it started to get higher. So there's two ways that I was actually moving my liquidation price. That was A, by changing leverage, by down leveraging, that's what Karbon does, and then B, by buying in more of a short up here. So my average price right now on this ZIL short is actually 11 cents. That's my entry price. So everybody else that hasn't done this so far, their entry price is going to be around 6 cents or 5.5 cents on a short. Maybe because of stage 2 in Karbon, it might have moved their entry price right around down here, maybe 6-7 cents max. But my average price is at 11 cents, and I'm actually getting close to getting out of ZIL right now. And the cool thing is because I've averaged so much money in here when it was much higher, as it crosses this line right here, this is actually going to start profiting a lot once it does drop. So right now it's looking like we are at 5x leverage and it's negative 18%. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what it looks like to have Karbon money manage this again. If you're going to manually enter a trade from Bybit into Karbon, that trade has to start at 10x leverage. So right now, this is currently at isolated 5x leverage. So I'm actually going to click this, and I'm going to move this up to 10. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm going to move it up to 10, and I'm going to click confirm. Now when I do this, you have to understand the math behind this. I'm going from 5 to 10x leverage. So I'm at 5x leverage, and this is negative 14%. This is going to go to 30 once I go to 10x leverage. Boom, negative 30%. But now that I've done this, now that this trade is back on isolated and at 10x leverage, let's pretend that this was the stage 6. Previously, this is going to stay as stage 6 until it wins the trade. So it could be coming back the whole way, and you still have all those funds allocated for this trade, and it makes it so you can't really get in other trades. So what we'd want to do is turn this back on isolated. and increase the leverage, because that's going to free up funds for other trades. Pretending this was the stage 6, this is how you would delete it and then re-enter it back into Karbon. So you would click this right here. It's going to say deleting this trade will remove it from Karbon AI Badger system. Only delete trades that you have manually closed in your Bybit account. This will not affect your Bybit account or funds showing in Bybit. So this is just deleting it from the Karbon system. So we're going to delete this. Boom. So that's deleted from there. So here's the ZIL short, and we can see that it's at 10x leverage, and I'm going to add it by clicking add. And are we sure we want to add this trade to Karbon? Yes. Or okay. Boom, position added. Now this is on 10x leverage. Now if we looked inside Bybit and our percentage exceeded 50%, let's just say that we were at 5x leverage and this said negative 30%. If we increase this to 10x leverage, this would be negative 60%. And you can still add that to Karbon. It's just going to automatically move it to stage 1. It's going to say, hey, this is already at negative 50, and it's going to down leverage and move this percentage down to keep it under 50%. In fact, now when I refresh this, bam, we could see the ZIL short in here now. It's much higher than the trade size of 2% at this point, but Karbon doesn't recognize that yet. But right now it's saying that this ZIL short, instead of being at a stage 6, it's now at entry stage, and it's negative 35%. And I'm happy with that, because I want this super high leverage, and I even want to shoot for a 10% profit, because there's a lot of funds in here now. In fact, this is now close to 36,000 ZIL. This is probably like 10% of this account, so it'll grow pretty quickly once it does swing back into profit. And I actually think that's going to happen here, just because it's there was just another big pump for no freaking reason. And we all know that when there's pumps like this around hype, people start taking profits, and then it becomes a quick sell-off, just like this. In fact, I put this red line right here. What this red line means right here is where I just bought in a lot. So there was a lot of different indications that this was a height, which I'll go into detail in later videos. I put these lines around here just to show where I change leverage or add to positions. And then I have a yellow line and a red line. This is where liquidation would happen. And if you see, there's a purchase order actually right before it. So this purchase order would also move this liquidation price further. If there was a quick spike when I wasn't looking, I'd want to have a limit order in place just so it catches the price right here, because then it would just fall down. One thing we know about crypto is that it's very volatile. So having limit orders is really important when you're manual trading, because something can spike up just like this and it could hit your target price. And just to average in, so to bring up my entry and exit prices for this ZIL trade, I had it hit right here, and look at how much it's fallen down. It's literally dropped. If I grab a ruler and I just click right here and pull it down, so we just caught 13.5% of a drop, increasing the leverage and buying in higher. So that just really helped this ZIL trade. Now I'm back at 10x leverage in entry, right? So, and if this does go up, then even though this does have a higher percentage of my account at play, it'll still treat it just like a Karbon stage 1. So it's actually going to double this amount in here, and I'm totally fine with that. As long as you know that if it does go the opposite way, you just have to understand the math and understand what's possible. So this was only possible back here because there was so much hype around an event in Miami, and there was just an organized pump at the same time as the price of Bitcoin increasing. So that's what it would take to grow this. Now, something like that, and this is a record. This is actually a crypto record that we're looking at. If we look at where the price was being traded at before, and then we look at this, this is actually a record for fastest growing top 100 coin in a week. And that was in a 5-day period. And then what I was suggesting is averaging in once you realize, like, so actually, in fact, I'm going to show this in this video. If you go to Etherscan, and you just look up ZIL, if you look up Zilica, every day over the course of the week that was happening, I was noticing that the wallet count wasn't increasing. For Zilliqa to beat Shiba Inu's record last year, that's remarkable. And the one thing that stood out to me was that the wallet count wasn't increasing like Shiba Inu's was. Shiba Inu's was growing at an incredible rate. In fact, there's over 1 million wallets created in Shiba Inu, and a lot of these were created during that crazy phase when Shiba Inu was just going nuts. If I go to CoinMarketCap and go to Shiba Inu's price, and well, look at that, it's kind of fallen off. But look, if I go to the all, look at what it did. This looks very similar to Zill's growth, actually. If we go over to Zill's price on here, doesn't that look oddly similar to what we're seeing with Shiba's? Look at this. October 2021, there was 2 massive pumps in Shiba Inu, and the wallet count went crazy. And another indicator would be the watch count on CoinMarketCap. So there's several indicators that you could look at to see if mass adoption is happening. And in my opinion, mass adoption would have to be happening in order to beat a Shiba Inu record and for it to be legit. Shiba Inu, although it still crashed over the course of this last year just because it is fucking pointless, it's really important to recognize what mass adoption is and what it looks like. Mass adoption would be a paradigm shift, and there would be a lot of people talking about whatever that is. You join it and it's something that you're going to be using for years to come. This isn't an example of that. If mass adoption was happening, we'd still see it go up and it'd be a lot more obvious. And it doesn't happen overnight, which is the kind of growth that we saw with this. So if I do go over to Shiba Inu, they got 1.1 million wallets. Zilliqa's got 23,000, and over the course of the week of that crazy growth, over this whole week right here, there wasn't any wallets being created. Isn't that a clue? That was a huge clue to me. So I just wanted to share that because that's one reason why I had the confidence to purchase short trades on the way down. Every time it spiked back upward, I just felt that it wasn't going to sustain itself, and I've been pretty right about this. Could I be wrong? Yeah, there could be some mass adoption happening that I don't understand. Now, I know this is a metaverse coin, and I've been looking at a lot of social medias online and seeing what people are saying, and it's not like something revolutionary has happened here. Zilliqa is going to be white labeling metaverses, and that's cool and all, but everyone's not jumping on board to metaverse land just right now. You'd see more people be talking about it. So the fact that no one knows what Zilliqa is a huge indicator that this isn't really gonna fucking sustain itself, and everyone's gonna start taking profit before the mass adoption's happening. So that's what's happening here. So that's just really cool that I've been able to move my entry price from way down here, so I don't have to wait till Zilliqa falls this far now. It's always good to have your take profits and stop losses on just in case something crazy happens when you're not there. But Karbon manages this for you, which is really nice, why we have Karbon. But this is just a little manual work that I figured out that would be smart to do because I knew this was a pump, and then I could teach it once it proved effective, and it really did. So I think if we saw similar conditions with a coin pumping and without the wallet count on Etherscan increasing, just like Shiba Inu's, I think we could be certain that it's going to be a pump and that people are going to want to start taking profits once their investment 4x'd in a week. People are going to start wanting to take profits, and that's what this looks like. That's why this has fallen so much. This isn't because people don't believe it anymore. It's because people are taking profits. People bought in, people were playing with it down here, and all of a sudden, like there's people that were playing with it down here and didn't notice, and all of a sudden they see it in the news, and then all of a sudden they see the price way up here, and they start selling. And there's some people that have just tons and tons, and what they do is they'll sell a bunch, and then they'll wait until it picks up a bunch, and then they'll sell more, and then they'll wait till the volume picks up a little bit, and people start buying it, and they'll sell. That's why you keep on seeing these huge red candlesticks. It's just people just taking money right there. Boom, boom, taking money out of this coin off the table. So that's what's cool about derivatives trading is you could bet on people taking profits. And I bet you that people are going to be taking profits when they have a coin set a record. Like this beat Shiba Inu's record in a week. This is what it looks like. Boom. The trading activity back here didn't even matter anymore. In fact, if I open this, this is what the trading activity looked like before this growth. So like about here, Karbon took a short because it's like, wow, this is growing way too fast. And then look at this, straight vertical lines. That's what the growth looked like. This was a record in crypto. This is what a record looks like. And then look, boom, and it's not done. We're still going up. Still going up. Still going up. Bam. Still going. Bam. So imagine opening up a short order right here. I opened up some short orders at like 20 cents, but then it went to 23 cents. The next time we see this, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to point out when something like this is happening. If the growth is unsustainable, so this was falling at an incredible rate, and every time it even bounces up, if this is really a pump, you know it's going to come down. So it's not even just about this 50% drop, but it's about every time that it falls too fast, because there's going to be people that aren't convinced that it's over, and then there's always pulls back up. If you notice, this is just ripping up and down, just zigzagging back and forth. And every time that it goes up too fast again after it's over, as long as we're not passing the record, you could make a lot of money on these huge red candlesticks, every single one of them. And a good hedge towards mass adoption happening is just holding on to the coin well before any of this happens. So having small amounts of these coins that we're even playing with is always smart too. So yeah, so this is the kind of action that we've seen since it's hit its record. It's just fallen and fallen and gone up and down and up and down. And that's another reason why I like these oscillators. Like right now we're looking at the 1 hour chart, and I have the stochastic RSI up here, which you can get just by going to indicators. Go to indicators. And another one I like to use is the CCI, the commodity channel index. I have a couple of these oscillators that show buying and selling patterns based off of time. So it's actually pretty funny because there is patterns behind how people sell. Smart people that are selling and smart people that are also buying will do it in waves, and this is just showing the waves based off of history, and it's kind of predicting it. So I use these oscillators and I look at them at a lot of different time charts. I'll look at them at the 5 minute, I'll look at them at every chart here, both on Bybit and also TradingView. Just to give you an idea what my TradingView looks like, it looks like this. So I got my chats over here, and then I also have 6 different coins up at all time. I have Bitcoin right here, and these are all at the 4 hour chart. So they're all at 4 hour. I have Bitcoin, Zilliqa, Sushi, Comp, Monero, and Luna. Zilliqa, Sushi, and Comp were all short trades that people got in Karbon, and so I'd been following them really closely just to learn from what happens in a scenario like that, and I learned a shitload. And then Monero and Luna are ones that I've just been toying with lately, and they're just fun ones to play in. So that's what that looks like. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing here, and I think there's times that are less risky to do this sort of stuff. You really don't want to just be playing with it for no reason. There's certain times that it is smart to do certain stuff. Like right now, we're seeing that Zilliqa is falling pretty fast, and that's awesome. So I'm going to shoot for a 25% profit. And I'm just using this, you can click this right here just to get an idea of what different profits would make you. If I was to try to make a 10% profit, it'd win 40 bucks. If I was to make a 25% profit, it'd make 100 bucks. And it shows it right here. And this is how you also set your stop loss. That's how you can quickly eyeball it. And then once you know what you want, so I'm going to shoot for like a 20% profit on this, just because it's falling so fast. You would go back to Karbon. Here's Karbon. And in this Zilliqa short that we're in on entry, I'm going to click this active button right here. This isn't really too intuitive, but this is how it works. You click this, and it's like, do you want to close this trade? Absolutely not. This would close it for a loss. What we want to do is we want to change the profit. So instead of it taking profit at 10%, we're going to have it take profit at, so we're going to shoot for a 25% profit, and then we're going to say change take profit. And then if you look right here, it says 10%. This is going to change to 25%. So we're going to take a 25% profit on Zill, and that's going to make us 100 bucks. Pretty sweet. So we're turning a stage 6 into a $100 profit if this hits so quick. And if it doesn't hit so quick and it decides to rip the other direction, well, guess what? Then we have this. This is going to make 50 bucks. This is going to make 50 bucks if Zill rips upward really fast, and then it's going to close. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, and I'm actually going to be, depending on how fast this falls, And again, I'm looking at a lot of different indicators, especially the ones that Karbon provides. This is the money B strategy that Karbon provides on all these. That's how we're seeing these Bollinger Bands and all these lines. Right here is ZIL, and ZIL's been falling like crazy. In fact, it's been falling really fast. Now, what's really cool is if it does continue on this trend and go all the way down here to this Bollinger Band, because that's pretty much what it does, is it bounces between these Bollinger Bands. Karbon's really good at predicting it bouncing between the Bollinger Bands, and it does an incredible job. If it does continue on this trend, I'm going to win this short. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be averaging into a big long as well, because the market has been kind of going up a lot lately. When you look at Bitcoin the last few weeks, it's been pumping and then it's been dumping, and then every time it dumps, you know, there's a good opportunity for a pump. So, and what's important to know is that every time Bitcoin jumps up, like look at this, Bitcoin jumped up 3.6%, and around that same time on the 18th, we see other coins jump 6% in this one candlestick. And look at this one, 7%. Look at this one, 6%. It's this one. This is 10% back here. So look at this. Bitcoin jumps 3.6% back here. Comp jumped 10%. So what we can see here is that for every percent that Bitcoin goes up or down, there is almost double or sometimes triple the activity on the altcoins. And it's really important to know the market caps on these coins, because that's a huge indication on what's possible. So Bitcoin has a market cap of 700 billion. And then when we look at a coin like that we're trading, like if we go down to comp right here, this has a market cap of motherfucking 900 million. So it's way easier for the same amount of money to have a bigger impact on these altcoins, and it scales down from here. So the next biggest coin on the list of coins that we're trading inside Karbon is literally 10 times smaller, and this is 20 times smaller. Luna's 20 times smaller than Bitcoin's market cap. So the same amount of money that could affect Bitcoin's market can affect these ones a lot more. Yeah, so if we look at these other market caps, like this is a $4 billion market cap. So it takes a lot less money to move these altcoins, and that's why it's so powerful doing derivatives trading, because a coin moves 1% in a direction, we could make a 10% profit using 10x leverage. So I know this has been a long video. I hope there's a lot of takeaway from it. Thanks for watching, happy trading, and let's get it.